got plans to go to the NRA annual meeting in April up in Indianapolis, Indiana? If you are planning to go, or if you already bought your plane tickets or your hotel rooms or anything like that, you might want to save your receipts. Because it's not a guarantee that the NRA will still be around in April if things continue the way they currently are. The NRA's current balance sheet through November 30th of 2022 is not very impressive. Let me give you a list of things that I found on firearmsnews.com. Their line of credit appears to be maxed out at $31.1 million from $7.5 million as early as December 30th of 2021. Their cash position is at $17.5 million from $30.4 million as of December of 2021. Their assets have dropped to $180 million from $211 million from the same time period. Liabilities have increased to $152 from $134 million in that same time period, and net assets have dropped to $28 million from $78 million as of December 2021. Now, these are all pretty considerable drops, but one of the things that kind of took me by surprise was that their current line of credit was listed at $28 million, meaning that they had a revolving credit line that they could borrow from and pay back over time. Well, it was capped out at $28 million. Right now, they're at $31 million, meaning that they have borrowed more than their own credit line has the ability to do. So they're overdrawn on their own credit line. Now, at the current rate of spending, the NRA will deplete all cash on hand in 5.3 months. That puts us at April from the time this report was put out. Available cash is one of the biggest things looking at this. Obviously, if they want... Available cash is one of the things that really stood out to me here. Available assets and expenditures, those things can be manipulated, pushed off, or whatever. In terms of your assets, you could always sell those assets. You could borrow against your assets if you wanted to. But the cash on hand is the main thing, because when the light bill is due, you don't go sell off things in order to pay your light bill. You don't sell off things in order to pay payroll salaries. You don't sell off things, part of your assets, in order to buy Wayne LaPierre $250,000 suits or put them on airplanes, private jets. The cash is what you use to pay for all that. If you look at all these numbers, the debt on their line of credit rose by 315%. That cash position, that actually dropped down 74%. Available assets to sell if they need to, that's a negative 17% drop. Their liabilities, however, they haven't stopped spending, of course, are up 13%, and their net assets, things that they can sell, have dropped 179%, which tells me they've been selling things off. If your net assets drop by 179%, clearly the overall value is not the only thing that depleted. Your value of those assets obviously can go down. But the fact that they're down that much as far as valuable assets that they currently hold means they've probably sold off quite a bit of those assets, and they still can't keep up with their spending along with all that. The author of this firearms news story, Rocky Marshall, who's a former NRA director, said that he spoke with a few of the current NRA board members who attended the January 2023 meeting, and he said that once again, the board of directors was not informed of this current financial crisis that they're going through. Folks, I got to repeat, if you're going to the NRA annual meeting in Indianapolis in this coming April in a couple of months, save your receipts, because yes, it may happen, but there's a very good chance that it may not happen as well. This is looking bad for the NRA. The NRA cannot police themselves. They have been warned for almost a decade now that they need to do something. You know what they need to do. The people at the top need to go. But they're too scared of those people, or those people have something on them, because they won't make the necessary changes in order to right this sinking ship. We need the NRA around. I'm not saying the NRA is that great. I'm actually a GOA man myself. But not one of these organizations like GOA, FPC, NRA, none of them can fight these battles by themselves. We need all of them. So we don't want to see the NRA go down in a pile of flames like this. That's not what we're hoping for. The average gun person who is cognizant of the type of battle that we have facing us with the Second Amendment knows that we need the likes of the NRA too. So our hopes and prayers are with the NRA righting themselves, but they seem to have no desire to do that with their current leadership in place. Until they make the necessary changes at the top, they're going to continue to lose members, which means that they run the risk of potentially within this year going completely insolvent, going bankrupt, and being completely out of business altogether, and not helping anymore with any kind of efforts regarding the Second Amendment.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. He's so horrible!